Hi, I'm Jane.
And I'm Jen.
And this is another video about adaptations we did to make board gaming more accessible.
Yeah, so Jane has a disability that makes it really hard for her to exert a lot of energy to play games. And so things like stretching across the table, picking up cards constantly is really difficult. So what we started doing is taking pictures of cards or the board game or the game board or other things that she needed to be able to see. And she would just have them on her iPad so she could access them, or her cell phone.
Yeah, it's super helpful, and it's particularly useful in when you have static elements on the board that are hard to see, though, like maybe cards with a lot of text. And you could sit there with your phone or preferably a tablet and just look at the picture instead of having to lean over the board, which is hard for some of us to do. And especially for extended periods of time, or to do more over and over. So like being able to sit back and look at my tablet was super, super helpful and allowed us to play some games during a period when we otherwise weren't playing any games. Now, we had, I know we tried this with like Abomination, and it didn't work so well because the cards were changing so much.
Yep.
And we kept having to send new pictures and new pictures. So it's not going to work for every situation. But it is useful in many situations. And I think one example you were going to bring up was Everdell.
Yep. And so we were able to use this, especially for like the top goal cards and things that don't change frequently. We were able to take pictures of those so you could access them without having to stretch and reach. And
right, like what was that again? And I could just sit back and save energy. And get through a game, and which is made my quality of life so much better to be able to get through games.
Yeah. The other thing this is really good for is for if you have eyesight issues, vision issues, either just bad eyes because you're old or low vision. You can blow things up on the phone. So we did this with our exit calendars, advent calendar this year and last year, where we would take pictures. I could not see in those dark boxes, and being able to take a picture and blow it up made it really easy for me to see, as well as for Jane and I to look without having to be hovering over one spot together. So it's a great way.
And if you have dexterity issues, a tablet would be easier than a phone, obviously, but you probably know that. And one other thing that we did try that was sort of related to this was we had a overhead camera on our game type for the way you would if you were doing a stream, and we had it streamed to our TV, and then I could look at the TV instead of poring over the map.
And that worked actually really well too.
That worked pretty well as well. We couldn't get the camera we had didn't get the resolution we wanted entirely, but it was good. So depending on what the game was, but it was helpful.
Yeah, and so those are just some more ways that we have adapted gaming so that we can play even when Jane is not feeling well. We'd love to hear about how you adapt games if you have challenges, or what challenges you face that maybe you're thinking about how you can overcome them to play games more.
Remember, every day that you game
is a holiday.